Hello. We're doing some raids today. This is the first time I've ever done like the 7-star raids at launch, since I'm usually like lazy about it because I just want to get like the guaranteed good builds and like just wait until there's like guides up and shit. But turns out they fucked up and set the size on Unrivaled Typhlosion to 0 guaranteed. Normally it's guaranteed to be perfectly average. I need a small guy. As a Typhlosion liker, and a liker of little guys, this is for me. And I need to do this before they patch it. I don't think they're gonna patch it this week. Realistically, it's Game Freak. They're gonna patch it on the rerun. But I can't be too safe when it comes to finding little guys for me. So we're doing it. Unfortunately, the fact that I'm doing this so early means I am not gonna have as good of, like, sources to rely on, Oh, 60 months as a part fan! Let's go! Hi, Seer! Good to see you, hope you're having a good day. I'm not gonna have as good, of sources for, what to build for this shit. Because normally the, Pokemon Scarlet Violet subreddit usually has good builds in the mega threads they do. They're usually more tuned to, like, doing, like, set group before instead of randos, but, Oh, you destroyed your sleep schedule just in time for us to play Kiwi tomorrow. It's perfect. And let's go admire how long the game is taking to register that I have an egg hatching. Lower that volume, Jesus. Tactical. Exactly. There it goes. That wasn't the full wait time. You didn't see the first couple seconds of that. Oh, it's still figuring it out. Look at the sign on the Pokemon Center in the background. Oh, the NPC who just popped in. Let's see what this one was. It might be a Magikarp. Magikarp. It's a Dreepy! It's a baby. I was hatching some stuff for Pokedex because I did a lot of trading for Origin exclusives with randos. So a couple of the Pokemon I got were like fully evolved, which is nice in the case of Dreepy because it takes until level 50 something to be fully evolved. But it did mean I had to do that. But you know, we're getting there. Oh lord, I might have to relaunch. Because it's not working well. Yeah, 10 more Pokemon to go, which is more. That's less than I expected. Yeah, but we're gonna relaunch. It was like this when I was running around hatching things earlier, but thankfully it only really started when I was like right about done. But man, it's not having a great time. I'm hoping it's just been open for too long, since I do kind of just leave the game open for, normal amounts of time. Usually in sleep mode, though, so that feels weird still. I don't know, this game's normal, it works, it functions. I hope it's not, Kaskarafa specifically being bad, and I've only just now found out, because it's the place to hatch eggs. It doesn't have, like, a very good hatching route, since the town doesn't have a lot of, like one lane running space, and the, like, circle you can do has a lot of people in the way to stop you. So it sucks for that, but, like, it's got the egg power person, so, like, I'm not about to fly somewhere else after I get my eggs to hatch them, you know? This is much better, already. Thank you for walking straight through me. I really appreciate it. And a ducky. Anyway. Do I have any more eggs? I have one more. But yeah, I have heard that Annihilate is the way to go, but I don't like building, like, DPS builds for 7-star raids, because there's too much of that. Everyone's trying to do DPS, and it's way better to do support. So I'm gonna search on twitter.org to see if anyone has good, support builds. And they're also, like, easier to, like... You don't have to build a custom one for every single raid. It's mostly just hitting a couple notes of, like, don't get killed immediately and debuff these stats. I just wish... it was easier to find this info. But unfortunately, we have to live like this. There was a Pokemon Cast, which is normally good, posted a couple builds before the raid started, which is not necessarily reliable, but... I mean, you know, it's something. Here's a Giraffe Rig build, which is more support-y? It's all-rounder, apparently, but... Let's see. An Oranguru support build. Yeah, that's basically it, so, There's a Goodra build, which I do like Goodra. It's an all-rounder, apparently. They have Chilling Water, Acid Spray, Terra Blast, Life Dew. I'm gonna see. Thank you for lurking for your perfume. And good luck on recording. Do your best. I'm gonna see if I can find any info on its moveset, because this obviously wasn't... these builds obviously weren't built with that in mind. So I don't really know. Moveset. Oh, Dexerto coming up on top. The site that I definitely trust. It's, like, fine, but... Okay, a Sunny Day, Eruption, Shadow Ball, Play Rough, and Earthquake. So the one thing that's really concerning for a Goodra would be Play Rough. Yes, I do not use Fire-type moves on Typhlosion. Do not use a Will-O-Wisp. Yeah, it has Flash Fire, huh? I might have to go with the Darkspun. Because that looks like the most effective build. I've already, built a Darkspun in my off-stream file. But unfortunately, I can't just transfer that over right now. So we're gonna have to make a new one. Now here comes the question of, do I bother finding a shiny? I don't obviously have, the shiny charm yet. I'll look up what it looks like. But it would be nice to have, like, a distinction between the two, because the other, Darkspun I have is, normal form and, I'm trying to remember what it had for its title. I know it's the marking that is like the little rose, but I completely forget what it's actually, like, what it actually says for that. Unfortunately, looking up any sort of, like, any shinies for Gen 9 just gets you a lot of fakes. That's getting better recently, because, you know, the actual shinies have overtaken the predicted ones or whatever. The misinfo and all that. Yeah, I do like the shiny Darkspun enough, so, you know... Actually, do I have any outbreaks? Because if I can do that, then I don't have to spend any Herba Mystica. Which definitely helps. Wow, I can't see any outbreaks. Never mind, here we go. Do I really have that P, or is it just not showing me? It's probably, yeah, these are the ones I'm seeing because I'm near here. Okay. I could take, like... I actually never, like, gone hunting for outbreaks, specifically. I'll, like, fly to them if they look interesting, but... I've never done anything with them, so I don't know how to make them, like, spawn in. But I'm assuming if I just fly around the world, it should unlock, like, the nearby outbreaks for each area. It only makes sense. Of course, this is Pokemon, so what makes sense might not actually work. But it's fine. I'm not sure why I'm going here when I'm looking for Darkspawn outbreaks. There's a couple specific locations I could be checking. I think, generally they're around, like, the southwest. Both, Darkspawn and, Cups Re-Evolution, I'm totally forgetting. It's totally obvious because it's a funny food pun, but my brain isn't functioning. You know the one. Anyway. But yeah, also the starting area for sure would be good. They're pretty common as well, so it's not like it'd be hard. I might actually need the, Herba Mystica more so to get the shiny rate, because it's not... I wouldn't necessarily get a ton out of just, boosting fairy rates in the area. Especially since that area also has Ralts. Not that I would mind getting another shiny Ralts, but I have... I got a, shiny Gardevoir from Legends Arceus. I forget what specifically. I know I have another shiny from that line, but I'm totally blanking on what. Hey, Octa with the raid! Welcome! Hope you had a good stream! I'm getting set up so I can do the Typhlosion raids while they're still glitched. Let me give you a shout out real fast, though. Hey, GoldenEye. Hope you had fun. Yeah, hi. If anyone doesn't know me, I'm Parfait. I stream a lot of JRPGs. I've been going through the Trails of Cold Steel series, just in general the Trails series. I'm gonna be moving on to other parts of it later this month, probably? But we'll see. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I just, I'm a chill streamer who streams late at night. I don't know. Trying to, like, advertise myself is always weird. But I hope you're having a good time. Hi, Green Clock. Yeah, late night American time anyway. Finally finished it. Yeah, no, I've been there, Octa. I've been there. That was me for, Conquest. I played through all of Fire Emblem Fates Conquest on hard mode. Then I got to the final level, and I tried it a million times on hard, and I was just like, man, come on. I had to just turn down the difficulty, because I was like, man, I don't want to, like, ruin my life trying to do this. Sometimes you have to be real with yourself, and have fun with the video game. Alright. Do I have Herba Mystica? Not boxes, that's... I don't know what I want there. This is where we want to go. We got Spicy Herba Mystica, which I think is one of the ones that's more problematic for making Chinese sandwiches, but it doesn't matter, because that's the only one I have. I could go and do my daily 6-star, but that's a lot of effort. So let's see. I do have a list of sandwich recipes that I always use that give you like level 2 without having to use any Herba Mystica. They're a little annoying to build sometimes, but after you turn down all the cheats and blew everyone out with infinite rocket launches to celebrate. Yeah, that's so valid, I get that. It's truly like that. Yeah, looking at the isolation spreadsheet. Duck Spun, Duck Spun, Duck Spun. Where is it? Is it lower in the Pokedex than I thought it was? Because I assumed it's pretty early. I can literally just search through, but... I may be a fool. Duck Spun. Oh yeah, 76 and 77. They can be isolated. Walk in and out of Medali. That's specific. I like that it's like giving you directions on how to do it, not where. I mean, where, but also like walk in and out of Medali. Alright. I guess I'll do that. Okay, so fairy. What do we want? 2 egg, 4 potato salad, 2 wasabi, and 1 salt. Okay, egg, potato salad, wasabi, and salt. Egg. Potato salad. Wasabi. Yeah, I do not have salt. Now where do I get salt? This is entirely too much preparation to be doing for a Pokemon that may not work. But, you know, it's like that sometimes. Salt can be bought at an Acquiesta or an artisan bakery. Acquiesta supermarket specifically. So let's see if we can find that. Nope. I mean, I should check over there, actually. So they might have Pokeballs I want. Yeah, I figured salt would be available pretty much everywhere, but it's good to check. Kathy, thank you for the follow! Hope you're having a good time. Every time I come across a every time I come across a group of Taros, I have to just, like, stare at them for a second. Thank you, I'm glad you think so. Oh, this is a bad time, I'm in danger right now. You can't hatch now! I was just about to run out of here. Good night, Octa. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate the raid again. Get you some good rest. Okay, let's see what they have. Let's see if it's trash again. Like it is nearly every time. Although I'm kind of grateful for my wallet, but, you know. Oh my god, Premier Balls. Oh my god, Moo Moo Milk. Calcium berries, there's an appeal to that. Because they're annoying to gather. Berries in general, there is that trick where you can, picnic on top of a gatherable item spot, and that item will show up in your basket. But it's annoying to do since you have to, like, save before you gather the item. Gather it to check what it is, reload your save if it's the right one. I've never done it before, but I assume that has to be how it works, based on what I've heard, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, I've been desperately in need of the EV reducing berries. I think Kelpsy might be one of those, so that's a little tempting. Kelpsy! Yeah, Laura's base attack, yeah, we're doing that. We're doing that. Because there's a number of Pokemon I use in my main playthrough that have been coming up as good raid Pokemon. So, like, I would rather use... Hey, what happened? Hey, what? Hey, why did that happen? Okay! Tomato berries, what did they do? But yeah, I like... Ever so often, one of the Pokemon I use from my main playthrough of the game... from my playthrough of the game comes up as a raid Pokemon. I'm like, I don't want to catch a new one. I want to use my baby. Oh, this is still... Okay, right. I wasn't sure. All I remembered about the tomato berry is it's a tomato. I couldn't remember what it actually does. Yeah, it lowers base speed. Which is good, because you don't need speed for raid mons, so that's something I need to do a lot. Reduce speed. Yeah, this seems worth it. I'm kind of broke, though. I didn't realize I'm kind of broke. It's probably fine. I'm sure I have treasures to sell, because I always put those off. Okay. As far as I know, the best strat is literally just go with the lowest possible bid every time. Because if you skip out, they'll take it. I think in theory you can skip out the first round because they're guaranteed to bid then. That's fine. I don't care enough about that little money to, like, spend hours resetting to get a better total. Especially since it'd only be a difference of a couple thousand. I say that like that's not, like, half my money right now, but we can fix that. We can fix that as soon as we get into a town where we can... Oh no, you can sell things to these merchants. You might as well. Actually, there might be merchants selling salt here. Also, I may have been wrong. Thought I remembered being able to sell stuff here. Yeah, it's definitely not gonna be here. Makes sense for a deli, but... Give me some accessories. This is every which way. That's not what I'm looking for. Although, do you have very... No. Does this have salt? Yes. Need to pay with my LP more. I forget that you can't use that for the auctions. Normally, it really doesn't matter what you pay with, so, like... I don't usually care. Let's do some shopping, and this is the wrong area. I just went over here because I was like, yeah, this is where they spawn. I know that. This is where the dogs are. Which is true, but... Let's, yeah, I don't know why it took me, like, a second to figure out what I was doing here. Need bulk sell. We're doing it. We're figuring it out. Yeah, like I said, I forget to sell these things and then I have, like, a small fortune in my bag. This also did come largely from grinding out the Ditto raids, I assume. Goddamn. That's probably the most I've ever gotten from one bulk sell. Yeah, let's buy some Pokeballs. I know I'm low on quick balls. Yeah. Anything for the sub, Kathy? Appreciate it. Enjoy your emotes. I'll get 100, honestly. They're that good. I should be paying with LP more, probably. Maybe. I don't make TMs often, so it's not like I use it for anything in specific. Let me just get 50 of these. I did it again. Listen. But specifically for these guys, if I can, I do want them to be in the pink ball. Of course, given I'm looking for a shiny, I don't have to worry too much about needing a ton of Pokeballs. The past couple of times I've specifically hunted for something for a raid, it's been for a title, so you can't tell. And you have to catch everything, which is sad if you want it to be in a specific rare Pokeball. I do wish it would, like, give you the title when you encounter the Pokemon. Like, have it auto-equipped, you know? That'd be nice. Yeah, they said in and out of Mid-Alley. And I'll bring up that recipe again. 2 egg, 4 potato salad, and 2 wasabi and 1 salt. And I can't do that here. I gotta leave town. Let's make a sandwich. Two egg. There's 4 potato salad? That's gonna be a little annoying, but it's fine. Then 2 wasabi, 1 salt. I really should grind out more 6-star raids, but I hate having to do a daily grind in, like, not a mobile game. I think that's mostly because I'm used to doing that in mobile games at this point. But also, like, I also have, like, a mental limit of mobile games I can actively keep up with. I don't want to do this. Oh. That's a lot of eggs I'm gonna have to do, huh? Is that all my... Yeah, that's all of them. Okay. I thought there were more potato salads. I'm glad that's not the case. I might have made a mistake not putting these on first. Huh? No. Thankfully, I have a... I'm gonna have to stack them. Oh! Anyways, I was gonna say, thankfully I have a lot of ingredients, so I can just read... Why did he even bother with the top red? I knew it wasn't gonna work well. But I think this sandwich would have been... Hey, what happened? What was that? I've never seen that before? I made a bad sandwich and the world exploded. Oh, okay. A tasty parfait original. We got Humungo Power for Fairy. Level 1. This is not worth doing anything with, but... Oh, this is gonna be, hell of a thing. Yeah, salt and 2 wasabi. Yeah, I think the move is to do a layer of these. Why does it pick them up at, like, random rotations every time? I really... I mean, I know it's because they're at those rotations in the thing, but I wish it would, like, normalize it, you know? When you pick them up. God. It just is... This feels... bad, is what I was going to say. Now, to my knowledge, you do get a much longer sandwich in multiplayer, but my willpower to summon up a friend to be like, hey, can we make a sandwich together real fast? For something like this, is low. Come on, be nice to me. I only dropped one thing. Huh? It's 3 stars, which I feel like it's just the... I'm gonna save real fast. I don't know if I have enough, ingredients for another sandwich. I wasn't paying any attention. But in case I do, and in case I only have enough ingredients for one sandwich, I was not looking at the numbers. I love everything lighting up. Like, obviously I get why they have it auto light up when you, go to make a sandwich. But it's funny how it lags. Yeah, okay, I have plenty. That is good to know. This is a nightmare, I think. I can't fully explain why I'm even trying at this point. And not just catching a regular dog. I think it's stubbornness. I think it's mostly stubbornness. Why did you pick up that one? Ugh. I feel like the best move is to put it more near the set. Can I like... I was hoping to put it more near the back. Then we potentially could have fit multiple. This might work? Because if it's like dipping off of the center, it's not immediately gonna fall off, I would hope. Trying to get that center bounce perfect. And that works. That technically works. It's gonna get shook every single time I drop something on here though, which is... I like seeing it clip into the other potato salad there. Which, I mean, what can you... Holy shit. It's not going well. Today is not my day. But also, this sandwich recipe is a little... It sucks a bit. All this just to not have to use Herba Mystica. Humunga power. Encounter power for level 1! Do I settle with that? I don't think I do. Encounter power level 1 is kinda stinky. Nope. We are not doing... Oh, we didn't even select it. Okay. I like that I first had to load in the world lighting and then the, like, table lighting. Because you can see, like, totally dark table, little spots of light, full thing lit up. Why? Thank you. I appreciate the support. Genuinely. Because I am suffering over here a little bit. Thank you. I'm gonna do my best. It has to be eggs first, right? Surely. Oh, you know what would be smart? Is to put the sideways eggs hanging off the side, maybe. And hopefully not send them... There we go. I think I only really need the one? But I don't know for sure. Like, I only need to have the one hanging off like that to be able to fit... This one sucks because it's like the heavier side that's sticking out the end. So I have to do that. Yeah, it doesn't really help. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think trying to stack them vertically would be the smart thing to do. I'll try that next time if this doesn't work out. Yeah, that's like the limit of how far out I can put the potato salad before it like falls off. I could have put it further out, but that's fine. I think I need to put it like closer to... I was correct in thinking I needed to put it closer to the camera. Yeah, like that. they know, do you think? That no one is putting on the top bread? Does Game Freak know? Do you think they regret making the top bread non-essential? It's also funny that you get 3 stars when you miss the top bread, because you would think 3 stars is like, this is the sandwich. Open face sandwich. Yeah, like yeah, it's a normal sandwich. But it's clearly meant to be on there. You know? I don't personally mind, but I could see a programmer being like, man, they're not doing my minigame right. I mean, maybe they made it so it doesn't, like, require the top bread so that you could make open-faced sandwiches. I don't know. User experience versus designer's intention. Yeah. Yeah. Your players will always do something you don't expect. I forgot to do the vertically stacked. It's fine. It may help to put it lower down. I don't know. I'm gonna put this towards the right. I'm not sure that it's gonna do anything, but I want to keep it away from the off-center egg, you know? Because that feels bad to me. Also, it's been pointed out before that as you build the sandwich higher, the camera moves back. Like, camera moves up and back. So dropping things in the same spot gradually has them moving, like, closer to the camera. It's not great. It's such a subtle thing, but it has an impact. I'm gonna look up other recipes just to see. Because surely... Curry encounter to you, a sandwich. Berry sandwich recipes. Herba Mystica, yeah, uh-huh. Level 2 you can get from the Ultra Ham Sandwich, which I might be able to just make. I do need to run. That was 3 stars. That apparently was 3 stars. Honestly, I think they just rate all of your custom sandwiches 3 stars to not hurt your feelings. I'm gonna see if I have the ingredients for the Ultra Ham Sandwich, because I assume if you just make it in the custom mode, even if you don't have the recipe unlocked, it still counts as such. Not that it matters. Because the point, the like, what you're looking for is if it gives you the right encounter power, and it should, but it's pickle ham, prosciutto, do I have that? No. Thank you, Kathy. Jalapeno, I also do not have. And then for the condiments, I need mayonnaise and mustard. I don't have either of those. It's worth it though. This looks a lot easier to do. So, I'm gonna figure out how to get all those. I know where to get that. Exactly 1500 Parfum, let's go. Clean. At least in the meantime, I am leveling up my little babies. My little children. But yeah, best place to go first off is Puerto Marinada. Because they have a ton of shit. Granted, most towns have a lot to offer. But It just feels right to me. I don't know. This is not the way to go. Oh, but didn't disturb those two. Yeah, there's the guy selling daily stuff over here. So yeah, we need the prosciutto. Yeah, I'll get 30. I'll do a bulk buy as well. Not sure if there's more than one thing I need here, but... jalapeno, do you have? No. I might as well get more... ham. You don't have ham. Interesting place. Pickle? Any... No. You don't have much. But you got what I need. I'm pretty sure this is, yeah, where the pickles are. I'll just get 10 more of these. Yeah, we still need the jalapeno. Yeah, there we go. And we have pickles, right? Yeah. Yeah, I literally just bought them. I don't know why I asked that. Yeah, pickle, ham, prosciutto, jalapeno, mayonnaise, mustard. Thanks for purchasing some perfume, Kathy. Enjoy your perfume. If you look at the input box panels under the stream, or if you're on mobile, there's a way to look at them. I know there is, but I never watch Twitch streams on mobile. But yeah, there's commands you can do with perfume. Not anything too special, but hell yeah, I'm glad. We do not have a lot of ham. Fixing that. Mustard. And mayonnaise. So it's just... No, I think I got everything. And I believe I can unlock this recipe by going into... I'm not sure if it's specifically the one in Levincia, but that's where I unlocked the sandwich recipes on my other file. But the sandwich place here has an NPC inside that unlocks a lot of recipes for you. It's probably at every location, but... There we go. It shouldn't matter if I have them, but it makes it easier. You're rich! Hell yeah. Take your time, buddy. There we go. And back we go. Hopefully more successfully this time. There is one sandwich that requires salty herba mystica. That's one of the official recipes, quote unquote. Well, not even quote unquote. It is official. It gives you tidal power, rock level 2, encounter power, fairy level 2, and catching power, grass level 2. Like, I don't know why you would bother with this. Frankly, that seems like a waste of an herba mystica. You don't get any level 3s. And they're all for different types. Tadane! Baby! I'm pretty sure I already have them, but yeah. That's just a little guy. I'll get to the raid eventually. It's interesting to me that when you start a picnic, the UI that gives you all the guide UI that gives you all the buttons to press starts out saying send out Koraidon and like then switches to recall Koraidon because it's the by default it gets sent out. Like it's just interesting to me that the game actually initially registers Koraidon as being not sent out until the animation actually plays. It's a very small thing, but I don't know, it's weird. But neat. This is number 82. There it is. Yeah, that does give me exactly what I want. You can see Power Rock also. Would that Diancie was just a regular encounter, then this would be really useful. Yeah, this is a lot more, but it looks a lot easier. The Rock Hard Ham is not the most visually appealing thing. Oh, I don't like that it does that. Hopefully that helps. We're gonna nail it down a little bit, so it doesn't fling the pickles when I put them on there, or the jalapenos. That's just a solid disc. That's the crunchiest ham I will have ever eaten. No thank you, sir. Matt. Yeah, that was a lot easier. Hi, Plasma. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. We're making sandwiches. Sandwiches with exceptionally hard ham. It's not anything new. I know all the, like, ingredients in this game are made of plastic, but, like, it's still a little... every time. It's just slightly uncomfortable. Ham is supposed to flop. They don't stack like it, though. Yeah. Yeah, they bounce around a lot. They're rubber. Damn, alright. Immediately. Not who I want to be, fighting these Duxbun. Let's, I should have done this earlier, but... Grab out my catcher Pokemon. And Steel type. Steel type is a good call. Yeah, I'm prepping for the Typhlosion raid. Correct. I've heard, Duxbun is pretty useful, so we're trying that. And I want to get a shiny, because I've already built the Duxbun in my other pile. So I want them to look a little bit different. You are not safe. Encounter Power 3 is definitely not the greatest, because look at all these not fairy types. Although it is interesting seeing, like, Encounter Power 2 also populating the area with non-fairy Pokemon, because this place is empty. As someone who's only ever played Pokemon Red, I have no idea what any of that means. Yeah, a lot has changed since then. Dedenne does make sense to be here, though. That is a fairy type. Oh, Jigglypuff! But yeah, there's multiplayer raids in this game, and they do like special ones every so often, where they have like special like markings on them that you can use to give them little titles that'll show when you send them into battle. Specifically, the Pokemon from the event raids have the unrivaled marking, and if you select that, they'll be labeled as nickname the unrivaled, I believe, whenever you send them into battle. Instead of just, like, the normal nickname. It's cute! So they're doing a Typhlosion right now. This is also the only way to get Typhlosion so far, because we don't have access to Pokemon Home yet. And they thought it'd be a cool, fun thing to make it so that transferring Pokemon doesn't happen in the actual, like, games anymore. And is a separate app. It does make sense in its own way, but... Oh, I see why they told you to go in and out of town, because it, like, auto-despawns when you go into town. So it's even faster than using picnics. Because if you go into a picnic, it'll reset the spawns in the area. Usually the 7-star raids are pretty tough for being, you know, regular in-game content. So you have to prep for them. I'm gonna look up the shiny Fido, because I don't remember what that looks like. I know what shiny Noxman looks like. Okay, yeah, it is pretty distinct. It's like a darker brown. Or a darker tan, I suppose, is more accurate. Look at all these Deerling. They're so baby. I've been eyeing up the Deerling plushie that... I'm not sure if it just went up for sale or if they, like, just restocked all the Unova Pokemon on the Pokemon Center site. But... regardless, basically every Pokemon from Gen 5 has a plushie available in the Sitting Cuties line, which is like the little very baby plushie line right now, and it's tempting me so bad as a Gen 5 fan. Like, specifically as someone who really likes the Pokemon designs from that gen. 4 games have changed in the last 24 years, yeah. There is also a buff where, like, the more of a Pokemon you defeat, the more likely you are to find a shiny. There's, like, certain checkpoints of, like, once you defeat... what's it, 40, I think? It, like, gives you a couple extra re-rolls for a shiny. Or something to that effect. So it's useful to actually, like, do this instead of just running into town to reset. Although, I probably should do that if there's no Fido around. Because, like, there's no point in fighting the other stuff. Other than building up bigger counters. Thankfully, shinies don't despawn. And they shouldn't even if I go into town, so I don't have to worry about that. But yeah, Pokemon games have changed a little bit in the last 24 years. For better or worse. Definitely for better compared to, like, Gen 1, but... in theory, I should be keeping track of how many I'm defeating to see when I get to 40. But I'll just feel it out. Just like, in theory... oh, I think it's 60, actually. Regardless. Once you get to that total, there's no real point in continuing to fight them. You can just reset spawns. Because it's faster. But, I mean, clearing spawns is also useful if you don't have a quicker way of clearing them out. You can always picnic, but it can be a little slow. Yeah, clearing out spawns obviously makes it so you can have more spawn into the area. Oh, you're just sliding down that cliff there. How'd you get out there? Are you good over here? Hey, buddy. What does shiny Meowth look like? I don't think it's super similar to the to regular Meowth, but as someone who's both a fan of cats, which I'm sure is a big surprise to absolutely everyone, and also has developed a great appreciation for regular Meowth recently. I always liked regular Meowth, but like, sometimes you're just like, actually, new fave. And that's happened recently. Yeah, I know, like, not a lot of people expect it, but I really do like cats. It's pretty shocking I recognize. I do recall that Dedenne, its shiny isn't very different from the original. It's not great, which also makes me not that sad if I miss one. But I do like them in general, so there is a part of me that's like, oh, I should also fight them. Because when you use Let's Go mode, your Pokemon will refuse to fight shinies. So it's also a good way to check Pokemon that aren't very obvious. You send them after something and they just keep saying no to you. There's other reasons why they do that though, so it can be a little misleading, but there is also the issue that I'm fighting both Duxbun and Fido. So my Fido shiny counter is going up a lot slower. I'm not sure how much I want to care about that. Ideally, I would like a shiny Fido rather than a shiny Duxbun, just so I can have it registered in my Pokedex. Doesn't matter that much, but it's nice. The group of Fido and Duxbun just despawning. Ouch. Nothing, huh? Alright. The game's trolling me, I think. I probably should have started a timer. Where are we at? 20 minutes left. Didn't think it'd been that long, but I know that's not a shiny. It's pretty obvious with these two. It's not the most drastic change, but it's significant enough that you wouldn't miss it. I've said it before a couple times, but I'm surprised that we still get, like, objectively bad shinies in this day and age. I understood it back when the shinies were literally just, like, they, automatically adjusted the Pokemon's palette by a certain number, you know? Just add, like, 4 or whatever else, or whatever it would have been to every, like, color number, whatever that would be. I'm not sure if that even was a thing past Gen 2, because it would make sense to have that for all the sprite-based games. But, like, still. Shinies are, like, specifically designed now. They make separate textures, and it's clearly something that gets discussed on some level. So I'm just like, what's with the shinies that barely look any different? It brings to mind a designer who is like, actually, my Pokemon only looks good like this. So I'm gonna make the shiny look almost identical. You cannot get a Pokemon, you cannot get my Pokemon with weird colors. I'm so curious what Shiny Meowth looks like. You'd think I know, because it's Gen 1, but it's barely any different. Oof. It's like more saturated. Which is sorta nice, considering all the Pokemon's colors, once they transferred over to 3D, got a lot more pale. A lot more desaturated. I'm preaching to the choir here, but I wish they were more vibrant, like they were in the 2D games. Seeing the Duxbun's tail over the top of the one Fido made me think for a second that might have been a shiny. Shiny hunting without the shiny power-up, and without shiny charm, when I'm trying to do the raid within a reasonable amount of time, maybe a little silly, but I'm out here. Thankfully, I only need to clear the raid once I get there. And training goes not that fast, but reasonably fast. Honestly, For this, I might just buy the stat boosting items. I did just get a whole fortune in league points, so... Or not league points, in actual Poke. I would be able to afford it. And I think I need a little bit of a break from actually manually grinding out stats. I did that for the last several. And it's definitely the better way to go, because it saves you a ton of money. For only less than 2 hours of stat grinding, but... At least it goes pretty slow for me. The lighting got me for a second. With that Doxfun that my bird just killed. Especially with the direct comparison right next to it. I feel like I have to have gotten 60 of them by now. It's definitely a good idea to get the 60 kills though, just because, like, I don't have a lot of what normally would make shiny hunting easier in this game going on for me, so... I gotta get those extra shiny rolls where I can. I'm literally only 10 Pokemon away. But unfortunately one of those Pokemon is Miraidon, so... I'm not getting that one anytime soon. I can organize a trade, but I don't want to do that in the middle of a stream. That is out of the question. I love the occasional Electrode just rolling in here. Bomb. You want it? Let's reset. Or run into a wild Pokemon that's not even there anymore. Hey, I think there might be a problem here. I assumed... I didn't freak out too bad about it at first, because I was like, oh, it's just gonna spawn it back in, right? Because I ran into it when it was despawning. It's just gonna make the model appear again, right? No. No, of course not. It's just active camo. It's true. Very true. She's just very talented. I should have put Parsley in the second slot so I don't have to... Well, I can just hit the up. I was about to say the up button. I'm using a control stick. That's not how it works. That's a little annoying. 10% chance, by the way. We got in the first try. There's no reason for me to catch this Dedenne. But I do want the invisible Dedenne. Even though it's obviously not going to be invisible once I catch it. This is not going well for me. Yeah, I've never both personally ran into a Pokemon just as it was despawning. Nor have I ever seen anyone do that. So this is entirely new to me. It's a very specific thing, so I guess it makes sense, but... Okay. What do I catch you in? Dusk Ball makes sense, right? Surely. I was almost hoping it would break out, just to see if it would, like, actually spawn in. I feel like it would, right? Because that's when the game is like, oh, I have to make this model, like, visible again. Yeah, you're allowed to do that. Not the other one, though. Sorry, bud. You're staying as a little duck. It's so maddening to me that when you try and cancel the evolution in this game, unless it's the one where it, like, takes over the whole screen, it makes you wait until the very end to see it get cancelled. It is a nightmare. I really need to organize this. I have, all the Pokemon in the correct boxes. They're just not in the correct spots. I think everything, yeah. Hell yeah. Some of them are. So I get to play a fun game of, is this in the right position? Did I move this to the correct spot? That's, yeah, 7. Okay. I know how this works. I know it's always grass, fire, then water for the starters. Why did I put it there? So, 6, 12, 14... Suggested yeah, so yeah, yeah. Hell yeah. It knows what it's doing. Fuck. It knows what it's doing. I can't talk, apparently. Do I just release this little guy? He's a little quirky. No, I'll just put him in one of my extra boxes. Because Seer still does need, Quaxley. So 17. Yes. Simple woman. Some meows, meow, see meow back. Hell yeah. That's what you must do. I understand. Of anyone, I absolutely understand. It's 19... Be here... Nope, here. And Spite Ops... Right here. That's correct. Houndoom goes right here. I think that's all sorted. Doesn't really matter, but you know, it's nice. I'll let you get to that while I look around a bit. Yeah, that's the only one. It's the only pack of dogs. Oh, thank you for running right up. It's appreciated. I do wish it would keep my bird out. I understand why it doesn't. But it's a little annoying. It doesn't really matter. Still. But that was a lot of barks. They had a lot to say. Just look at how short it is, especially when it's clipping into the ground. You okay there, bud? I feel like there's just so much going wrong today with the game. First it was super laggy, so I had to relaunch it. Then I had the invisible, didn't I? And now I have the Lore Dog? If I go into battle with it, what happens? Okay, it does pop out. Let's see if running away... Oh. Because it was a Ditto. It doesn't obey physics. It just happened one of those days. Yeah, apparently. Do as you will, sir. I know there's the whole deal where, like, every Pokemon has their own little behavioral quirks that they do while they're out in the world. And the way you spot Ditto is by looking for a Pokemon that isn't doing the thing its species normally does. But I don't think that's how that's supposed to work. Just as a hunch. I don't think that's quite right. How are we doing? 10 more minutes. Thereabouts. I have to know why I rounded up to the nearest 10 there. But you know, it's basically true. Hello? No dogs. There's dogs. At this point, I probably could just safely not even bother fighting them. I doubt I fought 60 Darkspawn, but like I said, I kinda don't care. Okay, I just had to look at that jump over there, because I couldn't quite tell what it was. And there's suddenly a Pokemon that is a different color in the area. So you gotta check if it's a shiny. I'm ever so thankful that they made it so that shiny Pokemon don't despawn. But I'm ever so resentful that they made it so that shiny Pokemon don't have any special effect when you spot them in the wild, like in Arceus. That was so nice. Like, that didn't redeem the bad shinies, but it made them bearable. Like, it put them back into the status that they were, like, before Overworld spawns. Although, granted, Legends Arceus is the first game where you can spot shinies in the Overworld. But, like, you know what I mean. It made it so it wasn't worse. Because, like, in games where you only encounter Pokemon in the grass, you would see the shiny animation at least, even if you couldn't tell that it was a shiny. But in this game, you just have to use your eyes and do your very best. It's cool. It does make you kind of want to go back to shiny hunting in Legends Arceus again at some point. Just because it's so much better. There's a lot of good quality of life stuff for shiny hunting in this game, don't get me wrong. But just the satisfaction of hearing the little sound effect. Unparalleled. Especially given that you can, like, just do other shit, not even pay attention to the spawns, and the game will tell you if if any shiny spawn. As opposed to this game where every time I run around, I have to look at it. Why is every Ditto like that? Have a good day. That's not how you walk. But I guess you're allowed. Yeah, like, in Scarlet Violet, you just have to look at every single Pokemon in the overworld if you are, like, at all worried about missing a shiny. There is the philosophy of, like, if you wouldn't have been able to tell it's a shiny, then it's probably not a very good one. And you shouldn't feel that sad about missing out on it. But, like, still. I'm over here with my shiny Mousehold, which is near indistinguishable. And I only got it because I was looking for a family of 3 Mousehold, which I still don't have. I need to get back to that. Don't I need an Eevee? I'm pretty sure I still need an Eevee. It'd be funny if this is a Ditto. It obviously isn't at this point, but... Yeah, again, that's not how Ditto are supposed to work in this game. They're supposed to do stuff that's uncharacteristic for the Pokemon, but not uncharacteristic for corporeal beings. They're not ghosts. Their goop can't go through any walls. That's not ectoplasm. But apparently it is. I found a new Ditto form and I just didn't catch either of them. Because I'm not dedicated to filling my Pokedex, which you can tell by the fact that I don't have it complete yet. Honestly, new Ditto form would kind of bang. I have no idea what they could do with it, other than making like a specialized transform. That like, I don't know, like, retains typing somehow? But, you know, whatever its new typing would be and makes that work somehow. I'm not sure. Or if it, like, strengthens the moves. I don't know, that seems like it'd be OP. But, like, something that, like, transforms... Well, that like, changes the, moves that you're copying a little bit. So there's a special little twist to it. It was cool once we finally got hidden abilities. Finally, I say. It's been a while. But, it was cool when we got hidden abilities and we got, I'm totally forgetting the name of the ability that, Zoroa and Zoroark have. But when we got that as a hidden ability for Ditto. So that makes it... That makes Ditto work differently in an interesting way. And it's, like, interestingly more influential, I feel, than a lot of abilities. Because, like, obviously abilities matter a lot. But, like, that changes, like, a core part of how Ditto functions as a Pokemon. Just by making the transformation automatic. Rather than being, like, a buff or something like that. That's gotta be not a Ditto, right? It's with a pack of Pokemon. That's gotta be a regular Darkspun. Let's find out. That can't be. Yeah, okay. Now I finally get to test out what I was gonna try earlier, where I run away and see if it... No, it's still stuck in the ground. I was thinking since it... I don't know. Might do something with the model mechanically when you exit a battle, that maybe it'd help. No. Not at all, no. How am I doing? 2 minutes. And there are no spawns. Please. Help me. That's just the shade. That is just the shade. It's the lighting, not a shiny. Do they not despawn if you go in and out fast enough? I guess so. That is good to know. Yeah, things aren't gonna despawn just because I stepped 1 centimeter into a town. As long as I get out of it immediately, anyway. I should be checking these guys over here, but in theory, they should stay even when I go into town if they're shiny. So if I see a lone deerling that just keeps sticking around, I know what's up. Hypothetically. It'd sure be something if I got a different shiny. After all this. Not that it really feels like I'm gonna get any shiny, but... God, I can pray. I can't complain much. My shiny luck in this file has been ridiculous for not having the shiny charm. Like, not to brag, but... Let me also get the couple catches I've done out of this box. Because there should be the, Yeah, there's Camo Diden. Didn't me. like, so far, this isn't all shinies, but if I go through here... Yeah, the shiny fortress, me and Seer got as a raid. Wild Chit, first shiny in this file. Shiny Sandy Gas I got when I was literally just looking for one with... when I was looking for, a... Gastrodon with the title. The pre-evolution, but you know, Shellos. Shiny Giraffrig I got when I was level grinding, or IV grinding. IV grinding. EV grinding. Third time's the charm. Anyway, little guy with the blue nose. Let's actually switch to... It does take a second. Yeah, that's these three. And then a random Kilowattrel while I was just wandering around. Same for Lavender here. And who else? Yeah, this Corviknight. I think it's the last one. Like, I don't know what it is that I'm doing, but apparently I'm doing something. And I don't know how to feel about it. Grateful, I guess? Of course, it tracks the moment I try to hunt for something in specific. I don't... It hasn't been that long, considering I don't have a shiny buff and, like... the other shiny chance up stuff going on. But... the game has conditioned me to expect shinies very fast. I think that's what it's doing. Is it's trying to disappoint me when I actually try and find a shiny. Because I'm so used to finding them really quickly when I'm not even looking. And it's like, what if you didn't when you actually wanted one? I really hate that command. Command prompt? I really hate that text prompt. I don't know, I can't talk today. But where it says you can't start a picnic while riding a Pokemon. Like, just take me off of the ride Pokemon. Evolution rate is the Cakewalk and Fluttermane. Ooh, that's good to know. I've been trying to find a shiny Fido. So I haven't started yet, but... So welcome. Good to see ya. Hope you're having a good day. Yeah, by all accounts, it seems like it wasn't too bad. So I've seen some people who mentioned going into the Pokemon that is, like, weak to one of its moves as the main DPS Pokemon has still worked out. Blanking on what that was right now, but... it was still kind of wild to see. This sandwich is gonna be real disappointing if you start at this side. Because then if you get to the end of it, you don't have anything. There is no meat. You'll be meatless. Let's give my main character, just a little jalapeno over there. Cool. Beautiful. Sometimes, by which I mean always, I forget that the official sandwiches have the little preview in the corner to show what it should look like. And that one seems relatively achievable, but I'm never gonna do that. Oh, you know what? I don't think I needed an EV after all. Because I had found Vaporeon in the overworld, which is what I needed it for in the first place. That was the last evolution I did not have. Something interesting I've noticed with sandwich buffs is that, like, whenever I set up a timer on my phone just to keep track of when it's about to run out, I'll start the timer as soon as I, like, get out of the picnic, but there'll usually be, like, a good, like, minute or two left over. So there does seem to be, like, a delay in how long it takes for the buffs to start, which doesn't matter, but it's kind of funny. Because you'd think it'd just be instant. I guess I give you a second to, like, get into hunting mode. Now puppies. Whenever I see that there's no spawns, I always have to turn around, because, like, surely, yeah, this happens. I don't want to go into town before I check those. Again, in theory, it shouldn't matter, because shinies don't despawn, but I get anxious about it. Saucebuck. Not too surprising, considering there's a deerling over here, but I hadn't seen one yet. Funny seeing the Saucebuck and no deerling. Also, if you've never looked at the name origin section on Bubblepedia for Saucebuck, you should do it right now. Because there's one obvious, you know, meaning behind it. Where it's, you know, spring, autumn, winter, or, well, would it be? Yeah, summer, autumn, winter, spring. I suppose it would make more sense. And then buck. But also, like, it was like a reference to something in specific, like a specific type of tool that I can't think of in the moment, but I'll look it up, actually. I'll bring that up myself. So I just remember seeing that and being like, what the fuck? How did they come up with this? Like, it has to be, it's like they made the name to be summer, autumn, winter, spring, buck. And they're like, oh, actually, this also means something. Oh, Sawbuck. Yeah, framework for holding wood to be sawn, which contains the word buck. Yeah. It's a reference to a sawbuck, which makes sense because they're grass types, so trees, you know, wood, that kind of thing. And presumably their antlers are made of wood because they're branches. You know, it's not just regular antlers with leaves growing on them. Anyway, it's not perfect, but like it's impressive. It's impressive that they made that work. Because it's such a specific word, too. I don't know, I appreciate the Pokemon namers sometimes. They do good! When they're not making names, I don't know. What was it again? Ocean Diglett. Umidigda. Like, I appreciate how straightforward the Japanese name for Wiglet is. And we're, you know, not much better, because it's literally just water Diglett. But I feel like Wiglet is a little bit more of a name than Umidigda, where it's literally just Ocean Diglett as one word. I like that they did that, though, because it's funny and how lazy it is. Of course, we didn't get off entirely free of that this gen for the English names, because we got all the Future Paradox Pokemon. I recently got a Spanish, I believe, Future Paradox Pokemon, and found out that their names are also apparently like that. I imagine a lot of them are based off the English names, but if I can find it in here, I can show that off. So I think I had them all in one box. Yeah. Kurosako. So just literally Iron Sack. I assume that's what that means. Yeah. Quelo. I don't know what Quelo is, but I know Pharaoh, so Yeah, no, I forgot. I got a lot of them from that person. Parapolita, which I assume is moth, like iron moth, literally just translated. Perapuas. I assume these are all just literally the English name, but in Spanish, you know? I don't know. I'm not sure if Sako also could be in bundle, or if that'd be like a distinct word. Or maybe it's a false cognate. Languages are interesting though. Yeah, I was just like trading all the version exclusives using the like Austin John Plays codes. And the person I ran into when I was doing the first of my Paradox Pokemon ended up trading me almost all of them. Just in one go instead of just like the one that the trade code was for. So that was really nice. And of course they're all in Spanish, so I unlocked those text entries. I do still really like that they do that. I thought that was super cool when I like ran into that in I think it started specifically in Platinum. Like I remember coming across that guy in the Battle Frontier and being like, oh shit! I can see Pokemon like Pokedex entries in other languages. Granted, it was a little harder to get Pokemon in other languages in that game because the GTS existed, but it wasn't great to use. I know now from experience that the way to use the GTS is to only do listings. And not, like, actually search for Pokemon to trade yourself. Like, only post listings, you know. Put Pokemon up for trade. Because the reasonable trades get snapped up pretty quickly. So by being the one to offer, you usually can do it without any effort. But nowadays, it's... hacked Pokemon are so, like, prominent that I'm, like, hesitant to use it. It's like when it's just that automatic process, there's no way to guarantee that you're not getting a Pokegen Pokemon. And even if it's, like, perfectly legal and everything, I'm still, like, I'm too much of a purist about it to want that. Like, I want a Pokemon that was caught in a real physical game. Even if it was literally like, you know, you emulated the game and caught a Pokemon and then transferred that to an official save file. I don't see anything wrong with that, like, in general, but, like, for me, I wouldn't want to have that still. In theory, there shouldn't be a difference, but I'm just like, I maybe should stop being that way for my own sake. So I can, obtain these games legally. And, you know... not always support Pokemon Company making bad choices, but that's just how I am. I think I'd be fine with doing something like taking my Pokemon Mystery Dungeon save files and putting them in an actual game. I've considered that. Just so I can, like, casually play those on the go. Pick up where I left off on stream. But then I would actually need to buy the game, and that's a big expense for something that'd be just like a little curiosity. Because Mystery Dungeon games are a bit pricey. I do, in particular, really do want to get my hands on Super, though, because I really like it. It'd be nice to just have for collection's sake, you know? A small part of me does want to go back to that, even, like, on stream, and do the, like, harder content. So I actually just found out recently that all the continents, or, like, most of them, in Super Mystery Dungeon are the continents from the other games. I had no idea. This game's been out for years, and to be fair, I only played it recently, but, like, man. To be fair, you only really realize this if you look at the world map and see they're the same ones. And Super Mystery Dungeon, I also just found out recently, is several hundred years. It takes place several hundred years after Gates to Infinity. So, I don't know. I feel like that can't be true considering the cameos in that game. But, like, there's this theory that a lot of the towns you go into in-game are actually, like, future versions of the original towns from those regions. It's like the hub towns you have access to in Super Mystery Dungeon are not the ones from the original games those continents are from. So you can't go into, like, Treasure Town or whatever. But if you look at the maps and, like, where they are positioned, like, where the new towns are positioned on the maps, I haven't checked this myself, but apparently they overlap or are pretty near to where the original game's base towns would be. To the point that, like, in some cases, they should be, like, overlapping almost entirely. Which would seem to support, like, yeah, the towns just change the names over the years and, like, developed in different ways. Like the, I think it's the Air Continent, that's the original Rescue Team continent. And the town there in Super Mystery Dungeon has all these, like, windmills and stuff. It's really pretty. But obviously that was not there in, Rescue Team. Like, it looks nothing like the original town. At least, like, I might have to do another comparison between the two. Because I did look at them. Also, this lag from the rain is ruining my life. But they look very different. But it's really cool, though. It's really cool that they just let you go to, like, all the past continents and see the entire Mystery Dungeon world. It's like, I'd known that there were, like, cameos, particularly in Super, but I, like, assumed it was, like, they're just hand-waving the fact that, like, oh, these characters are from different worlds, or, you know, whatever, and that there wasn't any sort of unified Pokemon Mystery Dungeon world. But apparently that's wrong! There actually is! I assume they're like, hey, this is an entirely new game with an entirely new location that's, like, not attached to the previous games at all, but Wigglytuff and Chatot are also here, somehow. Don't worry about it. Apparently not! Also, something I had heard is that apparently in one of the interviews, before the release of Super Mystery Dungeon, one of the devs is like, yeah, we don't really know where to go from here. I'm not sure what the original wording would have been, but, I mean, obviously, not in English. But, I remember I was, like, looking through, like, different reactions to that, and someone was like, it felt like they had just, like, used up all their ideas, like, just let all the secrets out in Super, to the point that, like, there's nowhere to go with the plot in future games. Which is weird to think about, because, like, even in Super, where you can go to all of the regions, the plots of the previous games aren't really relevant, as far as I know. So you would think you could just, like, take one of the, continents in Super that, like, was entirely original or new, and, like, set a new game there. Just be like, hey, here's this new location that you didn't get to see in Super. That's, like, just, like, your generic, Mystery Dungeon base town. And a cool world-altering plot. Like, it doesn't seem like the games are very, like... The plots do get intricate, but not in the way where, like, you would have to worry about, like, oh god, if we do this in a new game, this is gonna affect this plot line, and, you know, they don't overlap in that way, so you would think they would be super free to just, like, do whatever. Come up with a cool idea, then do it. I don't know. I guess I'm not as into... It happened again. And with the Dedenne. You'd think. You'd think they wouldn't have to worry about that and, like, whatever they do in Super Mystery Dungeon wouldn't, like, make it more difficult for them to make games in the future. Even if it's, like, something like, oh, we want to have the region be like this. Like, we want to have a new continent that's like this, but you revealed the entire world. And none of our continents had that going on. Like, one, like, a game that takes place in an icy tundra, or whatever. It's like, even then, I can't imagine they wouldn't just be like, oh yeah, here's another continent that wasn't on the map originally. You just didn't know about it. Couldn't go there in Super, but it does exist. Oh shit, rare as Sylveon. I'm gonna catch it in case it has a title. Also, it'd be nice to have one that's Terra Fairy. And I'm mostly thinking about all this because, like, I've been doing a lot of Mystery Dungeon roleplay recently and, like, looking into lore and shit. Just there's a lot of stuff that I didn't pick up. Even when I went through, like, the entire franchise within the course of a year. Like, if you ask me, like, anything more than the basic outline of the plot of any of the games, I couldn't tell you. Like, there's this whole theory about, like, Darkrai in Explorers, like, what happens to it at the end, where it, like, disappears. And I'm like, did that happen? I don't remember that happening. I know Darkrai was a threat, and it was like, actually, I'm the one who's been ruining things all along. You aren't ruining the timeline, I am. Like, I remember all that. But I don't remember the conclusion with Darkrai in the slightest. Even when I, like, had a description of it given to me, I was like, that happened? Because apparently it got, like, warped to the future or something. Or, to a different part of the timeline. And I believe the theory is that you are Darkrai. And, like, when Darkrai got warped to whatever part of the timeline, got changed into a human, which is you. And then, you know, it goes on from there. Memory wiped, I assume. All that shit. And I need to watch the theory video on this, because I don't actually know how it works. But supposedly it's, like, such a solid theory that a lot of people are just like, yeah, this is clearly meant to be canon. And it's just, like, they just didn't tell us explicitly. But it's obviously this is what happened. Like, there's no ambiguity about it. I couldn't say whether or not I'd agree because I had actually watched that, but it is interesting, conceptually. I imagine part of the idea is that, like, the time paradoxes that Darkrai is causing are because there's two of you in the same part of the timeline. And that's why everything is unstable. Because that'd make a lot of sense. I don't know, though. Just the fact that that theory exists and it's so, like, clearly supported floored me. I guess it shouldn't be surprising that, like, Mystery Dungeon has deep lore that I don't know about. Because I'm more the type to just focus on the surface level plot and, like, if I'm really into it, I'll play through the game a second or third time or whatever. Or, like, just think more deeply about it. Like, I like the Mystery Dungeon games a lot, but I'm, like, not expecting them to be super deep, so I don't think about them, you know? Yeah, Terra Fairy. Yeah, no marking. Didn't expect one, but still, like I said, it's nice having one that is, what's going on over there? Look, like, to the right of the boxes in the main menu. Past the Chansey. Anyway, I was gonna say, it's nice to have, Terra Fairy Sylveon. Because that's an annoying thing about using evolutions and raids in this game. Is that you do have to catch them in the overworld or grind out Terra shards. I haven't done it before, So it's not like I'm speaking from experience here. But it just seems like it'd be a pain in the ass, because they are also rare spawns a lot of the time. I've had decent luck in finding Vaporeon and Glaceon. Like, I usually see at least one when I'm in those areas. But beyond that, I don't often see them around. I know supposedly Sylveon is rare. But I think Pokedex also marks Vaporeon as rare as well. And it did take me a bit of doing to find one, to get one to spawn in the overworld. But also at the same time, I've had like an entire lake full or pond full of Vaporeon several times over within the same like short time span. This is when I'm training over in the fighting Team Starbase area. Don't remember the name of the place, but I might have to call it quits on finding a shiny. Because we're 2 hours in, and I do want to get to the actual raid. Oh, look at this little guy, though! How small are you? Oh, you're puny! Yeah, this is good. This satisfies me. Also, my Fido in my other file is a girl, so it's nice having a boy just to have a little bit of variety. A little bit of gender. Truly, I need to play Pokemon more often on stream because it gets me talking. I have thoughts. Yeah, what do I wanna... Heal Ball, I think. Yeah. It just feels right. It's a fairy type thing. Let's go see how small this guy is. I assume not, like, small as possible, because that's pretty rare. I think it's, like... Considering Pokemon can have sizes from, like... Is it 1 to 255? I'm gonna look up the thing in Cerebi again. I love when I go to tap something and something else loads. So I tap something different. Yeah, it's 1 to, or not even 1, 0 to 255. So I believe, yeah, you do have to have exactly 0 or 255 to get the maximum minimum size marker, which, you know, makes sense. But that's also a 2 in 255 chance that your Pokemon will be of exceptional size. Which I suppose does make it feel particularly good and rare and rewarding, but goddamn, it's a big requirement. Also should check what the recommended build wants me to do in terms of stats. Bring that up again. Where was... There it is! 252 attack, attack. 252 HP, 180 attack, 16 defense, 60 speed. Speed for a Raidmon. Huh. I was under the impression that's not useful. Maybe that was misinformation, because I got that... I had initially heard that, close to when the game launched, and that may have been just a lack of understanding in how raids work. Oh, look that up. Terra Raid Speed. Only effective if your turn if you attack first of the raid bosses. Oh yeah, duh, right. I should have known that, because that was relevant in the last raid. In terms of whether or not you would pick a scope lens, or... It was either, like, the lens that makes you, more likely to hit, I think it was? If you attack last, or after you've been hit. Versus if you, use the one that gives you an advantage if you hit first. Okay, yeah, that makes sense then. This should be, like, at least an XS, I would have to think. So it was significantly smaller than the others, which I... Just... going by odds, are probably, like, between size S and size M. Or size L, rather. Let's find out. Truly a little one! I think that's XS. Let's see... Oh no, that's XSS! Yo! A pint-sized powerhouse of a Fido. What a charmer. Yeah, it's always smaller than average Pokemon for me. That's what I need, is a Legends game where, like, instead of alphas, you have runts. That would just delight me. They, like, can't do that, logically. Because, like, certain Pokemon... You can always make a Pokemon bigger, and it's not really a problem. Hi, my lord. But, like, if you make a really, really small Pokemon, like, a Sinistea, even smaller, and you have to make every Pokemon in the game capable of being a runt. If you do that, it's a little bit of a problem. Like, that would slightly be a problem. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, 252 HP, which, you know, is always the case. At least in my experience, I should switch back to by type. I'm thankful I grinded as much of the Ditto raids as I could, because they were so easy. Honestly, wish I'd done more. But that's how it goes. Did I just skip past them? I totally did. Yep. I don't have anything for HP. That... Never mind. I always forget that they're, like, sorted separately. Or, like, you know, it's named similarly to PPF, which I feel like it shouldn't be, because those aren't comparable. They have similar-looking acronyms, but that's it. So that's 190. I might be able to get the rest with feathers. That put me up to 225, so not quite. Anyway, 180 attack. So we need 18 of these. Probably should have gone up to 20 and then went down, but whatever. Then 16 defense. Nope, don't do that. Be smart. They're worth 10 each. Okay, speed. We need 60, so this is 6 of them. Okay, now we go down to the resist feather. And give 6. Feathers do give 1 each, right? I'm pretty sure. But I'll double check. Resist feather, where is it? Yes. That is correct. Okay, 6. And that was what, I gave it 190 HP, so I'm gonna need 60 more, roughly. So I just need to try and find the Chansey supply again, which I'm never very good at. It always takes me a second. Can I... Oh! Never mind! I'm smart. So we need 6 of them. Yeah, I probably should have just went upwards from 1. Not like it matters. God, I'm glad I had so many already, though. That shit's expensive. I remembered that it was expensive, because I've done that before. For my first Fido, actually. But, man. I understand why, sort of. But also, I feel like they could just make it cheap, because, like, who cares? Truly, who give a shit? And then it also needs to be... Where's the nature on this guy? Impish. What you got, buddy? Hasty! That's speed up, defense down. Yeah, we don't want that. Impish. Yeah, defense up, special attack down makes a lot of sense. Okay. It does need an egg move, but that doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's Snarl, Crunch, Howl, and Helping Hand. With, other recommendations are Mud Slap and Lick. It does call them workable moves. And I'm not sure how much that's like a... you can make it work! Or if it's a... Yeah, these work pretty well. But yeah, let's double check. Snarl, Crunch, Howl, and Helping Hand. I know how to get Howl, obviously, it marks it right there, but let's see. They've been doing less, moves that are exclusive to pre-evolutions recently, from what I've seen. Like, I haven't ran into that with more recent Pokemon. I have to imagine that's intentional. Snarl, Crunch, Howl, and Helping Hand. I thought Snarl was also an egg move. I'm pretty sure Helping Hand is a TM. Crunch, yeah, that is a TM. Helping Hand obviously is. We know that one. Because it's such a basic move. It's hard to forget. Snarl is an egg move, isn't it? Could have sworn. It's like, I remember that from setting up... no, apparently not. Yeah, we want Howl. So let's see if we have anyone with Howl already. I would imagine, because it's pretty common, but... There we go. Puff. Yeah, I distinctly remember taking out a Rockruff for my other one and making it forget everything except for Howl. I'll fix that later. Okay, forget everything you know, except for your name and fine dining. It's possible we have other egg moves in the party, but I feel like maybe not. I can see Eevee knowing one, but it doesn't matter. So I'm not gonna bother slapping those back into the box. And I should have the, yeah, there's a mirror herb. So now we just need to head outside. Yeah, let's go to the Pokemon Center here. Also could get the TMs I need. I don't think I have Helping Hand on hand. Because I think I used my last one for another Raidmon. Take your time, buddy. I know it's hard. You are not the person I want to talk to. I want to talk to the robot. Okay, so, Helping Hand. That is... I feel like I can just look for the... No, I can't look for the... There it is! I was trying to find the hands, and somehow I missed this one. I was looking on the left. Cool that I am. I do have a couple in the bag. Okay. But then the other ones are Snarl, Crunch. No, Snarl is not one, but Crunch is. Never mind. I do have Snarl as well, but I don't have Crunch. For as much as I do prefer the old system of TMs not breaking from Gen 5, I gotta admit, this isn't bad. There is something to enjoy about, you know, being forced a little bit to grind for this, but also having it still be, like, easy to get. It's no longer, like, Battle Tower stuff. Like, I like this as a happy medium of, like, yeah, you have to play the game in order to get TMs. And, like, you're not, like, just good as soon as you have all of them. I can respect it, you know? Yeah, so Snarl and Helping Hand. Oh, you know, it'd be smarter. Is to do this. Use TMs to learn moves. Because this filters it to just what I can learn. This is also really nice. I can't remember when this was added. It might be this gen. I don't... Despite complaining about not having infinite use TMs anymore, I don't use them often. But it's really nice. Just being able to use the teach TM. This might have been a Gen 8 thing. And then have it filter to literally only what it can learn. Because the TM's list can be a mess. Yeah, Snarl, Crunch, Howl, and Helping Hand. I don't have Howl because of obvious reasons. But we're about to. This should be far enough. Also, can I just say that I'm so glad they weren't so evil as to make it so they have to wait an amount of time for the Mirror Herb to work. Because that's totally something that they would do. You have to be having a fun picnic for X amount of time. I believe Darkspawn evolves by level. I suppose I'll find out, and if it doesn't evolve, then I can just use item or whatever. Although there are some level up evolutions that have specific... Yeah, okay, level 26. I suppose I should have just gone for change hell at him. What did it need? The shades. It just gives the icon, and I'm not good at remembering the names of things. Not wise glasses. We're looking for... Well, I guess I'll check in town. But first... I forgot I was in this menu, and not just in my bag. Okay. Let's try that again. Let's go. Baby Buppy. This does make our Buppy bigger. Which is a little sad, but that's still a really small dog. That's still a really small dog, though. Damn, okay. I was really hoping I could just, like, save a couple XP candies. I'm tempted to just literally just use the large candies since I have a million of them. Sure, you know. I'll be wasteful. We fuck around. Anyway. I'll just fly. I'm just gonna fly. Because Deliberate Presence is closer to here. Without knowing offhand the name of the item, we're just gonna have to check and pray. Otherwise it should be easy to Google. I just can't remember. It's on the tip of my tongue. But like the shades, the held item, enhances the power of dark type moves. And I'm pretty sure Amazing Ghost has a lot of the enhances the power of X type moves in town. Although I might just be thinking of the starter trio types that it has. For obvious reasons. So I just remember getting the Miracle Seed when I came into town. Yeah, there it is. The sunglasses. I'm just searching that on Bulbapedia, because surely in the description it's like, sunglasses. No! I forget that they don't really give visual descriptions of the held item. You would think I'd remember as someone who's been playing Pokemon from Gen 3. Black glasses! Why are they called that? That does remind me of the little side quest in the Gen 3 games, I think, where the guy's looking for his glasses and you find black glasses on the ground and you try and give it to him and he's like, those aren't my glasses. Those are shades. I don't need those. I forgot they used to be formatted as, like, black glasses, no space. Very irrelevant thing, but it is interesting seeing that finally get fixed in Gen 6, you know? They could have done that a lot earlier, I feel like. I'm pretty sure we solved the issue of Japanese text limits being too low before that. It doesn't really matter, but... yeah, it's in Levincia, which makes a lot of sense, actually. Buying sunglasses in the big city. Apparently in Sun Moon and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, you sometimes can find black glasses in the Haina Desert after Sandile and Croc ambush encounters, which, and also they're randomly held by Sandile and Croc at a 5% chance. Which I understand why, in a meta sense. But those aren't like physical shades, that's just part of their body. You know? Like, I feel like... I feel like that's not quite right. It's, you know, it's never bad to have a free source of good held item. But it does feel a little weird to have random wild Pokemon holding on to sunglasses. How could I forget I need to name my boy? What's a good bread pun? Because I've already used Puppernickel for my other dog, so I can't reuse that. I'm really proud of that one. I don't think I can reasonably do better. I'm just gonna look up bread types, because if I try and think of different types of bread, I'm gonna forget every type of bread that exists. Sure, we'll look up recipes. Nah, that's just giving me, like, generic homemade bread recipe. Bread types. I feel like there's a better word for that. Kinds of bread, yeah, I suppose. Something like sourdough. Rye, sourdough, sprouted grain, whole grain. Pumpernickel, already used that one. Brioche, cella, flatbread. I remember looking at this same image that I brought up just now, trying to brainstorm names for my other dog. Soda bread, ciabatta, cornbread. I feel like I really want to not just make it like straight up the name of a type of bread. But if I try and do that, if I try and be clever about it, when I've already used up pumpernickel. And hot dog, I don't want to do hot dog. Obviously that's like the meat and not the actual bread, but it's something you use bread for. So it's a funny, obvious pun. But it feels a little... I don't want to use that. Bread roll could work, because it's like, you know, roll over is a dog trick. Swiss roll. That actually... Jelly roll is also very cute. You know? Sure. Fucking... I do that every time. If I just didn't mash the button and just did this. Your jelly roll. Can you jelly roll over? And despite that I named him as such, no Pokemon Center employee will ever call him that. Nor anyone else in the game. I've always been disappointed by that, and also, like, the pronouns used for Pokemon. Like, they always get idits, which, like, I don't think is a bad thing, like, morally. I'm not one of those people that's like, how dare you idits my pet? But, like, I feel like when they have defined genders, you could probably just draw from that. It would also be kind of base if they them'd the genderless Pokemon, but, you know. The lighting change made it look like that, Cook over here just, like, suddenly had a different colored outfit on. I like the lighting from the tower just kind of glitching in and out. Before I do this right, I'm gonna need to get more water. Because I've been thirsty, and I'm almost out. So I'll BRB real fast for that once I get to the raid menu. Actually, you know what's a good idea? Because it's gonna take me less than 2 minutes to get my water bottle full. I'm just gonna do... Nope. I don't know when I went offline. Oh, when I relaunched the game. Duh. So I had made a point of going online before starting stream. Just to get that over with. But, oh, what I was also gonna do is make sure I remember what all these moves do. Because I'm pretty sure I do, as, again, someone who's played these games for quite a while, but it's good to check. Rearrange is where I want. Yeah. Yeah, crunch may lower its defense, Snarl, lower special attack 1 stage. Howl is boost everyone's attack. Then obviously Helping Hand. That's impossible to forget. Okay. Gonna save here just to be safe. I already did, but you know how it is. What's going in the background? Ah, it's just a normal Golduck. And we're gonna try. Okay, speedrun time. I'll leave it on the screen so you can see people joining. Sorry, I shoved my desk because I was like trying to push my chair back. I didn't expect it to actually like slide against the wall slightly. Yeah, damn. I guess it's launch night for the raid. But I wasn't expecting that. I'm not so sure about Charizard, but at least it's gonna resist the attacks. So I can respect that, at least, you know? It's not gonna die immediately. I think the play, though, is to start with Howl, and then just, like, look at how much damage it's doing, and then decide if I want to use Snarl. Otherwise, I can just Howl up everyone's attack a bunch and then Helping Hand. It's nice that, what the fuck? I'm trying to think of the name of the Pokemon. Prime Evolution. Annihilate is the popular Pokemon for this, because I don't have to worry about raising the wrong stat. Everyone's bringing physical attackers. That's a lot of damage, but I think some of them, yeah, they're belly drumming. I'm gonna do this, and then we're gonna start lowering its special attack. Ooh, yeah. I don't like that. Oh, you know what? I see the appeal with the Charizard now. I forgot it has Flash Fire. But they better not be using fire type attacks back at it. Different side of the same coin here. Please. You use the strategy you came up with to prevent taking damage to still do damage to the Pokemon. Don't you kill me. Definitely gonna die from this. So here's the problem I see. Is that we didn't fully invest in defensive stats. Going by that build. This is kind of a mixed support. I can't debuff now. I cannot debuff now. That's not an option. That's less damage. Never mind, I can. Oh yeah, I think it's just like blocked during specific parts, not necessarily when the shield is up. Like the entire time. Oh, right. Well, big body. That's part of the strat here. I forgot about that, and that was part of the idea with Charizard in the first place. That's why so many people were using Darkspawn. Because that, in theory, its defense goes up over the course of the battle. But, you know, only if it uses the right moves on you. There's a chance! Thank God for the person you healed right there. I'm using Crunch. This is not the time to be debuffing. It's a little bit the time to be debuffing. Don't you kill. It's gonna kill. Ah! Never fucking mind. I mean, shit, there we have it. Like I said, it's fine. We got this. I love that sometimes you just have to, like, go through that pointless prompt there. Like the attack selection. Just to make the game realize, hey, it's done. Hey, it's gone. I think I like the pass well for this. And, like, I absolutely want to use a special ball for Typhlosion, because as a Cyndaquil line liker, being able to braid Cyndaquil in Apricorn balls. You know, for my other pile, I think I'm gonna do the Love Ball. Just because they're a baby, I like them. They deserve to be in Love Ball. I've been saving those. But unfortunately, I can't do that one on stream. Because then I'd dox myself. Not really. But still. It's more for the principle than anything else. It don't feel right. But let's take a look at our tiny boy. See if it is a tiny boy. Important. Also, I need to put back Rockcliffe right here. He wasn't even in the right position to begin with. So it's fine, but it's in the right box now. And we should be able to see if it's Oh no, I think we have to examine the size in order for the marking to get applied. I think. Also, hi Jack. Every time someone uses like a number in their name to replace a character, despite that I've been around on the internet long enough that I should be able to recognize that instantly, my brain just is like, no. Hi Jacob, welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good day. Don't be too weird, please. I do appreciate the intention, though. Yeah, let's go back and examine the size. Yeah, no worries. Like, I don't mind people doing something, I don't like once, if I'm like, hey, don't do that, and they're instantly like, oh, cool. Like, I only get upset ever when someone is just like, no, actually. I'm gonna keep doing that. Because then he gets a little, like, no, that's a ban. Of course, I would absolutely accept a hug. That I would love. Let's see. Did they, like, super fast patch out the size? Yeah, no. I didn't expect it to happen. But there's a small part of me that was just like, what if, for once in their lives, they saw a bug happen and fixed it? Mini Mark. Just a little guy. I'm also a little, like, it truly doesn't matter, but there's a part of me that's annoyed that all the 7-star red Pokemon are, like, default male, as far as I can tell. Like, I don't mind, but I feel like having, like, the 50-50 chance would be fun. Or, like, just make them... Some of them automatically... I don't want Let's Go mode, I just want this. Automatically female instead. Just for variety's sake. Oh, you're so small! I had seen a screenshot of how small the Typhlosion is, so this isn't, like, news to me. But just seeing it in-game for myself, that's a little guy. Like, prior to finding out, I would not have expected that they would be that small. I knew they're not, like, ridiculously Typhlosion huge. You're not trash at all. I think very few people are. And those people would not apologize and would not think they're trash. Because they don't care about other people. But, such a little guy. Oh, I'm delighted. Yeah, as a Typhlosion fan, it's like, it's not one of my absolute #1 favorites, but it's one of my favorite starters for sure. They're so cute. And I'm so weak for small Pokemon. But yeah, also, like I was saying earlier, I'm the kind of person to, like, use female Pokemon because I'm like that. Like, if I have the energy to, like, make a point of that, I will pick the girls all the time. So there's a small part of me that's like, man, can't the 7-star raid Pokemon just for once be female? Finally, we'll get variety when they pick a Pokemon that doesn't have a gender. Non-binary rights, but only because they were forced to. Only because there's no other way. Such a little guy, though. I'm tempted to change my icon. Because currently... How do I... There. Yeah, I have it set to Florigato. But... there is the trouble that, like, if I were to ever want that Florigato icon back, it wouldn't be my starter anymore, because I'd have to make a new one. And that would be a little sad. But I'm not sure how much I care. It's a very cute icon. This is so much thought to be putting into my icon, which is only visible in raids, and no one really cares about that much. I'm like, man, I could never have it back. It'd be nice if we could, like, build up a library of icons. So you could just, like, have a bunch that you swap between without having to retake them every time. The icons could be better in general, like just being able to use past screenshots from the game. I know why that'd be a little difficult, since they'd have to specifically, like, save the screenshots in-game as well as to the Switch. In theory, they could, because all the screenshots on Switch are tagged with the game they're from. In theory, they could base it off of that, but I feel like they really want it to be, like, a screenshot taken by that person in that specific save file. Where are you going? Yeah, it sucks having to do it, like... Oop, wrong button. I'm very smart. I'm gonna do it like this. Where you just kind of have to make it work. I do still really like this photo, though. Which also has Florigato sleeping. So, I mean... I'll think about it. I'll think about it. You know what I could do before I wrap stream? Because I do want to end a little early tonight to make sure I get the tiny Typhlosion on my other save. But I do have another 7-star raid, which I could probably do, so I can start building up some Herba Mystica. It's over here, I think. This is the general east side. No. No, that's wrong. There it is. As long as it's something that I have a reasonable Pokemon for, I'll do it. Wouldn't be a bad idea to grind the raids, but I don't want to prioritize that necessarily. I can do that on the weekend, you know. Also, I might want to make a Pokemon that's better at surviving. Although it ended up working out fine. I think if I had just prioritized debuffing first, or using like the defense up cheer, opening with that, then going to debuffing, I think that would do it just fine. Because I can get to the point where I survive 3 hits pretty quickly, and people are motivated already to use the heal cheer, because they're using a Pokemon that uses Belladrum. So in theory, it still isn't too bad for pubbing. Pugging, however you wanna. But it's not perfect, for sure. I might as well check this one to get the LP. What we got? There we go. Oh, 5-star. Very good for LP. But here we are. I don't know if I have anything for damage for a fighting type. But I usually go for support anyway. This is gonna be a little rough. Yeah, Steel Dark. So obviously can't use Fido. Not like I would have. Dark isn't gonna be very useful offensively here. I really should just go to the all boxes screen and then go from there, but huh? I think this would work, because water resists steel. I need more raid mons in general. Right, I'm in the selection strain, so I can't just move Jelly Roll into the box. Where he belongs. I don't know that the debuffs I got here are necessarily going to be super useful, because I think, aside from accuracy, which is always nice, the other debuff I have on Nagi here is debuffing special attack, which is not what they do. That's not what King Gambit does, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is fine. Although, Drifblim in this raid is probably a bad idea. Dark against Ghost. We'll see. I'm begging King Gambit to only use steel moves against the Drifblim. It's also nice to get another King Gambit because they're annoying. They suck ass to evolve. Actually, I don't think I've done King Gambit evolution. Have I? No, I might have. I think I actually did. Yeah, take your time. I don't have anything for debuffing special attack or attack on Nagi. Eisenkrieger. Is that just a normal name in German? For Iron Valiant? Probably, right? Oof. Now that's some nice damage. I think I'm gonna, recover and then do a defense cheer. No, I'm not, apparently. That's just lovely. I suppose this is what happens when you do not invest at all in speed. And are a slug. Hey. Didn't one of them get knocked out before me? Ooh. Yeah, this looks bad. I can't say I'm not at least partially at blame, because I sure did die there. I unfortunately can't really do damage, so they're gonna have to just... Yeah, it's not happening. I do have another Raidmon, which I could try out. So I have Corviknight, I have to double check what stats it decreases. I want to say it's attack. Which would be pretty useful here. And what are the odds, right? Yikes. Yeah, we're running that back. And well, I have to take partial blame for being so quick to die. Clumsy Lemming, thank you for the follow. Hope you're having a good night. Or time zone, whatever it is for you. I know I appeal to the Australians. Okay, what do we have on Dart? Dart is in my party. Screech, that's defense, right? Not what I wanted to do. I'm very smart. I know what I'm doing at all times. Reflect is physical damage as well. Late morning, but you wish it was night. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, so Dart should work. She should be able to do this. She's bulky. Please don't bring along anything that's weak to dark types this time. Or steel types. Don't let me jinx myself like that. Yeah, it's objectively morning for me. I haven't slept yet, because my sleep schedule is the way that it is. But, inarguably, 5 AM is morning. I mean, I guess a lot of people count 6 AM as being start of the day, but... It's definitely past the time where, diurnal people should go to sleep. You know? It's when you get up for morning shift. You good? I assure you. Corviknight is gonna do... Are you satisfied with it? Also, they have a shiny, not Rellor, the evolution. God, I know it's like... What's the type of bug I'm thinking of? Like, it's like a beetle name backwards. as I recall. That being said, oh god, come on, please. Beryllium is pretty reasonable. This is a pretty reasonable match for this raid, so I'm not too upset. I love when yeah, that's works. That's fine. That's even better, arguably. I love when this happens where I just can't see the other two members of the raid. So I just have to assume and ready up. I'm so sorry to this person if they turn out to be, you know, they brought complete shit Pokemon. Because I'll never know until we load in. I was just gonna look up something I completely forgot. Oh, wait, I did not process that the reason it went back to searching is because someone left. But if they left, I think I can guess why. Player number 3 is probably not the best equipped. I am so sorry to my new friends. This could be worse. Cactus. Love that. I'm gonna do this so that, hopefully, Haley doesn't just immediately die. Huh? Don't like that. Don't like that you have that. Okay, let's start lowering... Oh, you know what I should do? Reflect. Haze to think. Doesn't matter anyway. I lost the coin flip. Oh, come on. So... It wasn't the NPC that died. Not that I can talk. That wasn't what I was expecting. Also, I honestly wasn't even thinking about the fact that I have a super effective move for this. I need to use this 2 more times to get it to as slow as possible. Thank you to the person who just healed. Haley almost died. Team Gambit is about to shield, I think. So I should probably take advantage of the opportunity I have here. Before it clears its debuffs, or this doesn't let me debuff it at all. Unfortunately, my Carbonite is not very offensively built. It just has the drill text that can do something once it's done with its main job here. Okay, this is the time. If I can get this in. That's nice. That feels nice. Okay, now it's gonna clear. After this? There it is. Shield. And then... No? You know what? I think the immunity to debuffs might happen in between when it puts up the shield and when it clears debuffs. I think that's what's going on. I'm gonna heal us. You'd think I'd know how Terror Raids work pretty well by now, even though I only really do them for the 7-star events. Not really. Also, I constantly forget that, that failed. Okay, interesting. I don't know the rules for this at all, apparently. I was gonna say, 7-star raids are, you know, pretty high pressure, so... You just said that now? Okay, maybe I was right. I didn't process I hadn't done that yet, because it's it had had its shield up for so... I don't know what's happening. There's some things about the Raids Nintendo themselves don't understand. That would track, wouldn't it? I can't. Yeah, one more. Please take this off screen. Yikes. King Gambit! Yeah, what about it? Please let this happen. Please don't just immediately kill my bird. There's like no chance we clear this. But there's a chance. That is insult to injury right there. I think if we queue up again and don't have an NPC ally, and ideally have one more Pokemon that has a type advantage, instead of, for some reason, a Dragapult. I mean, I can respect it if they just don't have much, but it's not a great pick. It's not great. So sorry to the people whose time I am wasting, but this is just how it always is. This is just how 6-star rates go. I don't like the two ghost types already, but I'm gonna give them the chance to switch it up. Okay. This is very respectable, actually. Sure, I mean... Sure, Koraidon. Yeah, I mean, I see it. I see the appeal. Lock that one in unless it's not built, please. Amino-san, please! That's pretty good, actually. No, actually, I'm not sure why. I guess I just saw it change, I was like, no. Steel Fairy, pretty dang good for this. Unless... Yeah, I think we have to do an instant, Reflect, actually. I was gonna say, defense tier. But Reflect is something that I uniquely have access to. As far as I know. Someone else can potentially do the defense tier. I should check if Dart could have any other... Hey! Alessandro, thank you for the follow. Hope you're having a good night. Or day, or whatever it is. It's like that, you know? The instant paralysis on that Sylveon, and also the Koraidon. We're out here. Oh, Sword Stance. We got someone with a build. I think I'm gonna heal. Especially now. Remember when raids used to be worse than this? And then they patched them and now they're slightly less bad. Heal cheer takes like such a weirdly long amount of time to happen. I guess it's gotta wait for like their turns to occur. And that's what we're looking for, baby. Let's go! What was I saying? Koraidon is perfect. I have enamel. Do I? Please let us not fail. It's gonna fail, obviously. I'm not sure why I thought it wouldn't. I'm gonna heal right now. I'm gonna heal. We need that. We need that and not me being a fool. Please let me select that. Come on! I'm gonna be real with you. I just noticed now that the cheer button has little pips to the right of it that show you how many you have left. I've never needed that because it's 3. I can remember when I have more. I think. But that's neat. I like that. I think I just interpreted that as like a decoration for some reason. This should work now. I don't... The already reset. Does that happen when it's like about to? Also, this sucks. I want someone else to do it for a change. Fine. I am the support Pokemon. So, we're doing that. Oh, we're slowly getting there. Can I screech it out? I think it's worth it to check, because I'm not gonna deal a lot of damage otherwise. That feels bad. Can't do anything else right now. Thankfully, I'm not taking a lot of damage. Oh, you know what it would have been a good idea? Taunt. I can't believe I just realized that. That'd be amazing for this raid. Someone else heal, please. Reflect. Yeah. Re-upping Reflect, actually, pretty good. Oh, honey, I know your damage isn't great, but I'm praying for you. Let that double stab and do it for you. And don't get... There we go. No paralysis. Let me select an attack, please. Yeah, at least I have a strategy for next time. Come on, guys, just attack right now. I know I wanted healing earlier, but now we just need to slam attacks. If a couple more people have attacks queued up, this could be it. I so wish I did more. If people already have attacks queued up, I might do it. Nope. God, we're close. Yeah, that's on me for not using taunt. I can't believe I forgot I had that. It's right there in my move list. And yet here we are. I'll be good at Pokemon eventually. I have what? 15 years under my belt? Not quite there yet. at least Dart is, like, surviving well. She's got that going for her. And that's pretty good already. Like, that's the minimum I ask for from allies in raids, and I can't even do that sometimes, clearly. Come on. I know it's failed the last couple times, but you have to. You have to believe me. We can do it this time. Meterodon works for me. That works for me. Why? The ghost type. Come on. She'll go. Wait. That's not what that is. I know that's without the accent. It's ni, I believe? But I can't remember for the life of me what it would be with the accent. My Japanese knowledge is bad. Come on. You can believe. Thank book. We needed that. We have someone who's probably gonna die quite a lot, actually. So we needed that. Let me move, thank you. Reflect. Immediately. And then taunt. I forgot to use it again. But once we heal, we'll be fine. There we go. We need to heal anyway, so that works out pretty fine. Next turn, please! I'm begging you! I want to feel useful. Oh. Hey. We're doing a lot of damage. We're keeping up with it despite losing that much time from the death. So there's that. It could certainly be worse. I need to taunt again. And pray to God that it actually works. Yeah, no, I don't know why I thought it would. Do I want to hang tough? Yeah. Probably could have waited until the Cereal Edge is in there, but can I reflect though? I need to put that back up. Finally, Cereal Edge is back. I think I'll be able to do it now. Come on. Someone else please heal? Because I'm gonna be busy doing this. Come on. It's just apparently not time. Like, I have been able to do this kind of stuff while it's got its shield up before. I just can't figure out the timing. Is it just that it's, like, less likely or something? That doesn't seem like that's the case. So, like, once I'm able to do it, it seems relatively guaranteed. Yeah, it's not worth it to do it anymore. It's this low on timer. Come on. You're just taunting me. That's what I'm trying to do to you. Alright, fine. The shield makes all non-damaging status moves fail. I see. That's the difference. So that's why, Snarl worked. But not. Okay. It's not like I would have been dealing a lot of damage, unfortunately. Oh, no, I could have been. Man! Making a fool of myself. Yeah, we try again. Just take your time. I know, we've been in this part of the overworld, about 1,000 times, but you forget all about it every time. There we go. I think we're gonna do one more try, and then we'll call it quits for the night if it doesn't work out. I trust Rio. Like, if that's the same person with the Breloom as before, I trust Rio. Aki's bringing, Koraidon, so already pretty good. It's just the question of, you're the same person from before, I want to say, but probably not. That's probably not actually the case. About that one. Iron Moth? I mean, I guess. Let's see how the others feel. Yes or no on Iron Moth. What's the typing again? Because I know it takes like one of the types from Volcarona. Is it Iron or Steel Bug? Fire, Poison. Right, it's funky. Oh no, actually, no, that works. Oh, okay. I don't know about that, but sure. And that one for sure feels questionable, because Fire Psychic against a Dark type. You'll be doing to you pretty damn decent damage, but, you are gonna die is the thing. Why was I just, like, spacing for a second? It's a taunt. Man. Still good to do. For the love of God. Police? There it is. And seeing as Aki is our damage dealer here, I'm gonna heal. Calm 9 stacking. I respect it. Also, did King Gambit get synchronized? I wasn't paying much attention to that, but it's poisoned. It's paralyzed now. I'm not sure. No, I know exactly why Rio's Pokemon is suffering. That is a type disadvantage. Actually, no. Is Berry resistant to Dark? Because I know it's Fairy Psychic, therefore you'd either be weak or neutral. Oh, Sword Power. Yo. Yeah, I respect that. I think we need to... Give me a chance. Oh, Dio, I wish you hadn't died just then. We're keeping up with the deaths, though. So, you know, that's the least I can ask for. I think that means I want to reflect, right? Surely. And now there's nothing I can really do about the Thunder Wave, which is cool. I really do love how the raids are just damage checks, and they disincentivize, that's the word, any sort of setup. Like, there are setups you can do, but it's like very specifically like before they put up the shield, and you rush it down, which is not something you can really coordinate online. You sort of can, but it's a little... Was it in time to save Aki? No, it wasn't. Oh, Aki, buddy. I was rooting for you. I knew it was gonna happen, but... Oh no, that's bad. And yeah, there's David. Hasn't fainted once. Not a type of disadvantage, so that's... It makes sense, but... It is funny seeing the one with the Pokemon least suited to this raid. Yeah, flying type, actually. That makes sense. I was mostly thinking about the defensive properties, but... In terms of damage dealing... I see it. Yikes. Yeah, it's just not happening. We're not having it. Alright. If that's how it is, then that's how it is. Sucks, but what can you do? I'll probably keep grinding some star raids off stream where I can just continue to fail while I'm doing other shit. Cause it sucks doing all this when I'm not like, at least distracted by something happier. Yeah, we're calling that pretty good. We're gonna see if we can find something to raid. Thank you for joining me while I did some funnel grinding. Funnel raiding and such. And we're gonna see who's online. Who is up? Quite a few. Oh my god, how could I forget? List's birthday stream. We're gonna say hi. there is no, like, unless Liz is about to end, which is possible. She's been going for a while. I'm not sure how long she intends to go, so I'll check, but I'll set that right up. Yeah, I'll see y'all around. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing some Kiwi with Seer at the same time as usual, 2 a.m. Central. Obviously, I always have my schedule up on Discord and on my Twitter. But regardless, yeah, so it's happening tomorrow, and then on Saturday, Para is going to be teaching me Commander for Magic the Gathering with some custom cards, which should be fun. Yeah. I'll change the rate if it turns out that Liz is about to end, but it looks like she's still going. So I'll see you around. Have a good time zone. Have a good night if you're in that part of the world, and get some rest if you need it. Bye-bye.